Welcome to another episode of the Bastard Sermon. I'm one of your three hosts, Cody Hooker,
Luke Young,
Andrew Rudick.
That's Andrew Rudick. And Lloyd, go ahead and introduce your guest.
All right, this is a guy I've known since I was in seventh grade. Since I first moved to Ohio. Finneytown boy, played football together. Fucking known each other for years and years and years. Now he's a well-known hip-hop artist that fucking
What's his
killing
name,
it, man.
Lloyd?
Santino Corleon.
Everyone,
Corleon.
give it up for Santino Corleon.
Thanks for having me.
Dude,
thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for coming on. So we had a cancellation, which rescheduled Glenn Childress. Thank you, Glenn, for actually a day ahead of time telling us. He was like, "Oh, my bad, I have to cancel." It's like, bro, no, thank you for actually not telling us 20 minutes before the podcast started. Thank you for fucking like coming through with like
Shout
the
out to
cancellation. Rescheduled that. Glenn Childress is an amazing comedian. Be on the lookout for that in January. We're gonna have that coming. And then fucking Lloyd was like, "We got some people that I can reach out to unless you guys have somebody." And I was like, "Dude, hit your people up. Your people are always great." And he was like, "Santino Corleon." I was like, "Let me just pop this into YouTube." He's a local rapper. He says. So let me pop this into YouTube. I pop it into YouTube. The first shit that I see is that Up in Smoke thing. And I was like, what a fucking well-produced, like, on-point fucking song. Like, you're actually saying, like, not corny shit. Like, I can tell that you spent a lot of time figuring out your verses and your bars. Like, everything's well-produced. I was like, God damn. Like, why does this only have 700 views? Somebody follow Santino
It's because I
Corleon.
don't, it's... Nowadays, you got to kind of talk about bullshit and kind of be like, I could do that, but that's not art to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can make songs like that at the drop of a hat. I mean, I do have songs like that, but it's just not fun to me. You know what I'm saying?
I listened to Danny Brown talk about this, where he was like, I could do the thing.
I got compared to Danny Brown before.
He was like, I could do the thing where I could make a fucking $100 million in a second, but then I'm not the thing that I am.
Right.
Like, I listened to him talk about with Rogan about that, and Rogan's like, just do both. And he's like, you don't understand.
It's
like,
not
I can't
the same,
do both. Like, once you do one, you're not the other anymore.
I hear these so simple songs and they like blow up, and I'm like, I can't make a simple song because in my head, I'm come from that era where you gotta kill that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to make, less is more at the same time, but I still come from that era where you have to be on point. Every bar has to mean something, or
the crucial difference between rap and hip hop.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, also, you're the one who has to live with it and perform it and fucking stand behind it at the end of the day. Like, that drives me nuts, especially like when I hear comics and musicians talk comics. Like, well, just do the thing that makes money. And it's like, all right, well, you do some hacky jokes,
right?
And they're like, fuck,
tell me a joke. Yeah,
they're like, I'd never do hacky fucking material. And you're like,
throw away your imagination and creativity,
all your fucking, your integrity and all that shit, your artistic integrity.
Get a puppet.
Well, when I found that first video, I was like, this is dope. I listened to about half of it, and I was like, I just wanted a quick sample of what he does. Right. I want to get to meet him in person, talk to him, and then I'll find more of his music out and shit like that on the podcast. But I was like, let me see what the genesis of his music is. And I'm sure the YouTube videos is not the genesis. I'm sure this goes back forever, childhood, all this shit. Yeah. But the first one that I found on YouTube was you went back to wherever you live. Was it in Brooklyn? And it's you and your boys. You're in Brooklyn. It's like the Navy.
It's in Fort Greene projects in Brooklyn. Navy. I know what you're trying to say. Fort Greene 95 Navy Walk. There we go. I couldn't pull it out of my head.
And you're telling a great story in that. And I'm reading the YouTube comments to see people like are brutal in YouTube comments.
For
they don't
sure.
give a fuck. They're dickheads. All these people are like, damn, he's like actually talking about stuff. Like, they were giving you like props the entire time. Everybody had good shit to say about you. Like, never heard about this guy, but this guy fucking rules. Yep. People that did know about you, like, damn, Santino, can't wait for the shit to drop. It was like, damn, this dude gets like actually. And then I was like looking at the video and I was like, wait, this shit came out 9 years ago on YouTube and it's in 1080p and it's like well produced. I was like, you had a fucking team.
Actually, we really didn't have a team. It was just me and a video dude.
Really?
And all of these concepts really come from me. Honestly, I don't mean to toot my own horn. I hate to talk about myself, but this is a podcast. So like I come up with the concepts, treatments and shit like that. I just kind of tell the guys, hey, this is what I need. In the city here, I have so many resources to go anywhere, use any type of background or anything I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So I just put these shits together in my head. A lot of shit's off of movies that I've seen, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a movie buff, so I kind of like incorporate that into videos.
Go to areas of Cincinnati that they've shot like films in.
I know one thing, that we were the first people to use a drone shot of the city.
Oh, hell
yeah! Like, I was the first artist in the city. We damn near got caught by the feds. You can't really be flying drones.
You're in a no-fly zone type shit.
We own the sky.
Right, exactly. But we shoot guerrilla style usually, which means we just come pull up, shoot the shit, and get the fuck out of there. So it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's how that video came across that you did, like guerrilla style. But it was like you did the most with what you had in that moment. And I was like, he's filmed this in New York, which is always. I mean, I've never been in New York, but as much as content that I absorb from New York, I get the sense that it's a crowded ass area, especially like if it's
not really in Brooklyn. That's the project. Though the story behind that is when I moved to New York in 19, I moved 8 days after 9/11. Like that shit was still smoking. I was there 8 days before 9/11. So I seen the like, you know what I mean? Like, and then when I went back, them shits were just gone. Like, and the whole mood of New York had changed. Like, it was one New York, and then the next time it was just crazy because you see all the pictures of the people that were missing and all that. I went to school at the Institute of Audio Research, which is in Greenwich Village, not far from NYU. And I would have to go under the towers in the subway every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's culture shock coming from Finneytown. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I can remember my boy Elliot Limper. I don't know if you remember his name. Oh, he calls me 9/11 and he goes, turn the TV on. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because he knew I was moving to New York. And he's like, I turn it on. I think it's a movie. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I seen the second plane hit.
James Cameron's hottest new film, dude. It's gonna be sick.
What the fuck is going on? So he's like,
I don't know what it is, but I feel like Russell Crowe's involved.
Yeah,
he really nailed it with the explosions on this one.
These graphics are so real.
You want some drink?
Yeah, sure. Y'all got any like bourbon or anything like that?
I've got really shitty spiced rum.
Rum.
Do you want a rum with a Coke?
Yeah, whiskey. Perfect. This is perfect, and it's just enough.
Do you want a little glass with some ice cubes in it?
Glass of ice.
I got you covered.
Sorry, I usually get it beforehand.
Nah, that's cool. It's perfect.
I didn't ask.
So when I moved, it was just like this big culture shock or whatever. And I really actually moved to I wasn't an artist when I moved. Like, I just told my mom, like, I want to move to New York to get in the music industry. That's all I had, like that idea.
So you were a creative in your soul, but you didn't
express
it yet?
I always knew I wanted to work in that. Like, I played sports. I was an athlete all high school, you know what I'm saying? I could have been considered the jock, like, you know what I'm saying? But my senior year, I kind of ran into some stuff with the administration, and it pushed me into this other direction. And my mom's like, why don't you just move to New York? Because I showed her the back of a magazine when I was 16 in a Source magazine, and it was the Institute of Audio Research. And when I'm 18, she goes, why don't you go to that school you showed me in the back of that magazine? I was like 16 when I did that. I was like, you remember that? She's like, yeah. I was like, and now I'm so young, I think I need my mom's permission because I'm like, I can go to New York. And she's like,
how old were you at that time?
I was like 18, 19, like probably close to 19. And then she's like, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. And I was like, the light bulb went off then, and I left. And once I left, I went to school. I kind of dicked my way through a 6-month program, which is funny. Like, I've been in this game 20 years now, and I'm not really a button pusher in the studio. Like, I can tell you everything I want done and what I hear, but I can't actually physically make beats. Like, I'm considered a producer, but
when you were there, though, was it more about networking and meeting?
It was just meeting people in relationships. So what happened was I was in a student housing situation, and my school was 6 months. The student housing situation, I was only paid up for 3 months. So I just went, like, I'll figure it out. You know, I'll cross that bridge when I get there, type of thing. Excuse me. So me being a pothead, where I'm living is next door to these projects. I'm like, fuck, I need some weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go over to the projects. So I go over into these projects, and I'm like, fuck, I ain't just about to be walking up on these dudes. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of chilled out by the basketball court, like, people are hooping. It's outside playground type vibe. This kid named Chucky, I'll never forget it. Like, he starts talking. I befriended this kid for real. Like, he's like, yo, where you from? Like, because they can hear it in my voice. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Ohio, whoop-de-woo. And then one day I asked Chucky, like, bro, where the weed at? Like, he's like 12. He's like 12. He's like, yo, Kool-Aid got it. He points him right out. I'm like, I could have been the cops. Like, you know what I'm
saying? He looked at you and he was like,
yeah, he ain't the police. Especially with my accent and shit. Yeah. Which I always tell him, I don't got the accent. Y'all have the accent because if you go anywhere, they know you're from New York. You know what I'm saying? But, so Chucky points me out, and I get cool with the dude who sells weed. Next thing I know, I meet a girl there, and then we start hooking up, and then her family takes me in after the 3 months. So that's what that song is really about, the family taking me in, and which that kind of led me down this path. They don't take me in, I probably come back here, and I don't know where the fuck I am right now, for real.
That's an amazing story. Yeah. I wanted to give people a little taste of what the music
Shout
is.
out to Chucky and Kool-Aid.
Yeah, shout out to Chucky and Kool-Aid. I still see Kool-Aid.
What you're saying is you end up drinking the Kool-Aid?
No. I still see Kool-Aid when I go back to the hood, too. He's a good dude.
I want to introduce people to your music. So we're going to play a little piece of... we'll do like 2 minutes of what he's a video that he selected before this. But you said this is one of your favorite things that was put together. Do you want to do a little backstory of it? Or you want me to just play
Which one
it?
is this one?
This is the
Villain. Yeah, this one. A bunch of artists in a city that are kind of on the other end of the spectrum, meaning the trap hood side I work with a lot. Yeah. And one of them named Malio, shout out to Malio, he's like, yo, I got the studio for like 12 hours, just come through. And I kind of had some things I was working on, so I came through, and then I was like, I got a verse to this beat, you know what I'm saying? And so I dropped this verse, and then my boy Clay kind of formulated the hook there, and then Malio dropped it, and I was like, yo, this shit kind of sounds like a movie. And then I kind of went into the whole, like a lot of times when I write, I'm actually writing a movie in my head, the video.
You get like concepts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of saw this vision before, and then used all my resources to pull together. My boy owns this mansion, so I was like, let me use your mansion for a video. Like Chris Doyle, he went to Finneytown too, so that's Chris Doyle's house in this video. So a lot of people I grew up with, I utilized them. Like,
and you were saying that you're a little bit of a cinephile, like you love movies and shit like that. So does that, like, do you help with the direction of like how the music videos
all
go?
of it? I do. I write them all the treatments out. So this one has kind of got a gangster Godfather vibe. My name comes from the movie The Godfather, so I was like, let me fuck with that a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's go. What's the dude's name? I forget his name. Is it Robert Redford?
Robert Redford
that plays.
No, James Caan.
James Caan.
Santino.
Santino. That's right. Yeah.
My mother thought he was cute. So
he's the one that gets fucking machine gunned.
Yeah, in the toll booth. Yeah. And my mother thought he was cute, and I was like, well, why are you naming that? She was like, I thought the dude that played Santino was cute. And she was 16 when she seen the movie. So 10 years later, I'm born. So she already knew I'm going to name my son Santino.
Plus, how much do you love that scene when he beats the fuck out of the dude?
Like, dude, just for fucking with his sister.
In the middle of the
dude, I watched this shit when I was a kid.
With the water, water, the hydrant just spraying water, and he's beating the fuck out of him.
Then my mom always
goes, like, I got to show you your namesake.
Right. When I first started rapping, too, she's like, why you use that name? Because I added the Corleon. Because I was like, I need a rap name. And my boy in Staten Island was like, dude, you got a name from a mobster movie. I was like, but I ain't no gangster, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, nah, that shit is crazy. Use that shit. So I use it, and my mom goes,
name.
Thank you. My mom goes, why are you using that? I'm like, you fucking named me this. Like, what do you mean? And she's like, but it's just got a gangster connotation to it. I was like, well, I'll be careful going through toll booths, I guess. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, so that's gotta be nice to have like a good name like that.
Yeah. People think my real name is Santino Corleon now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I sign it so much that when I'm writing my regular name, I'll start to write Corleon and not my real last name. You know what I'm saying? So it fucks me up. Or it's just weird now. Like, I kind of made it. Yeah, I ain't anything but a Santino. Like, I couldn't be anything. I'm not a Jim. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's perfect.
Right. My parents named me Lloyd. Lloyd Johnson.
Lloyd
That's
Johnson.
A 53-year-old black man with the sugar foot who can tell you where the good fishing holes are.
He got the sugars.
He can tell you where the good fishing holes are
yeah,
at, but he don't walk out there no more.
God bless my pops. That was him. You just described my pops, my biological father. That's crazy.
Let's check this video out real quick. Let's give everybody a taste of it. Guys listening on Spotify, people listening on Apple Podcasts, check our podcast out on YouTube and actually watch this video and look up his shit. It's Santino, Santino, Corleon, Corleon on YouTube.
I don't spell it with the E.
Give him the subscribe. Give him the fucking give him the subscribe. Give him the views.
Go find it on Bandcamp so he makes some fucking money off it.
Yeah, Bandcamp. Facts.
Here's the song. It's called Villain, featuring Malio and Clay.
You right about that Bandcamp shit.
Yeah.
I just had to put like a little preface so people kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah.
That house.
Yeah.
That's a great
I need this house.
Came through litty, fucking up the function, rolling up the loud, you know I'm puffing like it's nothing, hometown hero, all about the narrow, how many fucks you got to give, you know I told him zero, bitch, I'd rather play the villain, moving on up, George and Wheezy, dog, I still ain't see no ceilings, still ain't got no feelings, still ain't got no hoes, still keep it 100, still repping the old, they just wanna get it high, get it, yeah, I know, give a fuck about where you been and give a fuck about who you know. Give a fuck about who you is and give a fuck about where you go. They just pay me my respects and all these saying niggas so. Should I walk in that bitch?
This video was good as shit.
Thank you. And it's purposely, I'm not rapping it. It's all cinematic. Like, if you notice, I'm no performance scenes at all.
That's awesome.
Purposely.
This is quality.
Thank you.
Don't get no fuck about what you spend. I'd rather play the feeling. I'd rather play the feeling.
That's Terrell Jordan's car from Finneytown.
Yep.
Look at that drone shot, though.
Yep. We've been using drones.
Robberies, daylight, yeah, the weight right.
Got all that.
Everybody get their cup, make sure you ate right. I pray to God all the time, I know I ain't right. And I had to spark their people, but This life, 100 pounds in the cut.
You know you got to do the bag exchange. You know what I'm saying?
It's mandatory.
Yeah.
Say they want to get me. We double cross them all the time. Hit them for their pennies. I run with a small circle. Guns like the Purge. Selling grams, selling
That red car is my boy DJ Magua shit.
I know what's up. Fighting life every day. Nigga,
my wife did the makeup there.
Don't get no fuck about who you know. Don't get no fuck.
That's my boy 3 Letters Nuck. He signed up Flow Rider.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bleeding everywhere, that's Jason Gardner.
Nah, it's not. But I use Jay Gardner's kids in the video.
Nice.
I'll show that video when we're on there. I use Jay Gardner's dad in the video too. He played Maury. So I have a song called No Baby Mama. We can play that too. I use Jay Gardner's dad as the play Maury.
Let's talk about it just as far as the video goes. I mean, the music's dope. Everybody hearing it knows that's a fucking dope song. Check out fucking Santino Corleon. But like, holy shit, like you have like the costume design is on point. Like
everything
you can tell everything
quality.
looks crispy.
Yeah.
Nobody just showed up in whatever they were wearing. Like I see a lot of people, and no disrespect to anybody that makes like a little homemade production and just shows up in whatever
But this
clothes
is
they
homemade
wear.
though. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have a lot. Like you just got to utilize what's around you. You know
You
what
did
I'm
a
saying?
really good job.
I
of
mean,
it.
there's
like,
so many locations.
Yeah. It's
the
layers
number
to
of
it.
cast in it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
the shots.
You can tell
the
care
way-
went into it.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
does that make
All of it.
Absolutely. I love the way that the shots flow with the music that's going on too, and the way that like you've got drone shots, you've got like it looks like a steady cam, and I'm sure it's just a dude holding a camera like walking in on
Actually,
a
it
shot.
might have been a steady cam.
You had fucking steady cam shots.
Yeah.
It looked like a jib was swinging back and forth. Like you have like all this like professional ass fucking cinematography going on. Like I could tell that the principal of photography on this was like you really did. You did a real treatment.
Yeah,
on
I
this
take
thing.
pride
Like,
in
you
that
fucking,
shit.
I could tell, man. This
I
shit
just
was
don't
on
like
point.
video. Like being a rapper, I bet people like, let's shoot a video, and they're like, all right, let's get some girls, a bottle, and a car. Like, come on, like that's you know what I mean. Let's get creative here and do something that you wouldn't expect. You know what I'm saying? So that's,
I mean,
that's
we've
usually
seen
my thing.
that
Same thing a million
times.
times. Yeah, for sure. And I think that sets apart me artistically from other. I hate to use the word rapper, but that's what I do. You know what I mean? It's the underlining thing of what I do. I'm a writer more than anything now. Like I write other shit and I write for other artists now too, like R&B as well. So you know
Where's
what I mean?
home base? Is Cincinnati home base?
Well, see, I have an awkward situation. So I live in LA and I live here. So I live in LA probably 6 to 8 months out the year. I got an apartment there, but I'm married. I'm married, 3 kids. My wife has a situation, a co-parent situation with her baby father, my stepson's and my stepdaughter's dad. So she can't leave, you know what I mean? All my work and everything I got to do is in LA, really. You know what I'm saying? My label's there, that type of stuff. So rather than me miss out on my opportunity, we were like, fuck it, I just got to go. You know what I'm saying? So 6 to 8 months out the year, I'm there. Back and forth, though, you know what I'm saying? So I'll spend 3 weeks in LA, come home for a couple days, go back to LA. But from Thanksgiving to New Year's, the music industry shuts down because all the like big wigs kind of go on vacation. It's the fourth quarter. It's about to be the beginning of the first quarter.
Yeah.
So people the music industry literally shuts down from November to January. So I use that time to go home and be with the family, and I do a lot of my writing and recording for next year now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
prep for the
so I'm
next
prepping for a new
year.
project right now. Like,
is that stressful having to go back and forth between these two fucking cities all the time?
in the beginning, yes, because I missed, like, my son was probably 4 at the time, 5, and he just started playing football, so I missed that entire season. You know what I'm
Such a
saying?
fucking cool time.
Yeah,
for, like,
yeah, for sure.
a little kid, like,
And I was in a situation with a manager. Then I fired him since then because it kind of got into some contract disputes. Yeah. So a part of the reason why I left for LA was because he kind of like, yo, you need to be here. Like, all right, whatever, I'll make it work. You know what I'm saying? And then when I fired him, I was like, I can go back and forth, like, because I was doing that anyway. Like, I moved there, and then I'd just be coming back at least once a month. So then it kind of got in a situation where he was like, well, you're going back too much. Motherfucker, I got a family back home. Like, he don't have no family. What do you look like telling me I'm going back too much? Like,
you're already working your nuts off.
Yeah,
It seems
exactly.
Like. I just met you, and I could tell, like, you're putting in fucking work. You're putting real work. Like,
yeah, so it's exhausting meeting, leaving the family and stuff, but they get it and they come there sometime. It's cheaper for me to come home, but sometimes they come to LA and spend a week or in the summertime. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope that your girl's cool. Like,
she,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she knows what she got into.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? It is. But at the end of the day, I always say, I could be an electrician and not be doing any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's what I asked for, so I really can't complain about it. You know what I'm saying?
And how much can you talk about? You said something off mic. I'll cut this out if this.
No. You
said
talk about
you made
whatever.
some money off of a NFL thing.
Yeah, well, so I'm signed to a label called 83 Sound. We're a placement label, so we make music. So I'll make music. My music's everywhere. Like it's on Jeopardy as me use my music.
Yeah, you know the song.
No, they used it for they used it for
his next like hit. There, he's gonna incorporate that.
Right. Oh yeah, did you know that I wrote Jeopardy? I didn't write that record.
How old are you?
He's
man?
like, and then I killed Alex Schubert.
Right. What's funny about that? It was my
music gave him pancreatic cancer.
I'm 41 now. I signed my record deal when I was 38. So a lot of anybody listening out there, don't go with that whole age thing. Like that's all bullshit. Really. They actually, I say they tell you that so they want to keep people from trying and being what they want to be in life.
I can just tell you, anybody listening is already, they love you as a guest right now. I promise. Anybody listening feels how we feel right now. Let him talk more.
So we, when I signed the deal, well, let me take it back a little bit. I knew this artist named Out of Sight, and Out of Sight is a pop artist. You guys heard his music everywhere. You just don't realize it. It's on commercials. It's on movies. He had a song called "Tonight's the Night." It goes like, "Tonight is the night that we're losing control." Oh, ooh, oh,
I know that song.
Oh. So that's my boy. So he
same record label.
No, yeah. Well, I'll get to that part. Sorry. So it's cool. He had that record out. Trap fucking toured the world. Like he did shows in Abu Dhabi off of that record. Like
he had fucking princes. He had like Abu Dhabi princes
type shit. Like
oil tycoons.
They watch Eminem perform at the Grand Prix out in Abu Dhabi in front of like 100,000 people. Like, he opened up for that show. Like
Lil Wayne just had. I'm sorry to interrupt your story for this, but Lil Wayne just had a bad experience in Abu Dhabi, and one of the Saudi princes was like,
sent him to Lamborghini.
They were like Lamborghini or Ferrari. Yeah, it was like. Lamborghini, and he was like, I thought he was just asking him for a preference. He's like, be at your house in 3 days. He was like, 3 days later, it's a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, then they said what color, and he was like black
Lamborghini
at his doorstep.
There was a UFC fighter that had a card in the United Arab Emirates, and what they call Fight Island now.
Right.
And this dude was out partying with a couple of these dudes who are I don't know something
Saudi or whatever,
somewhere over there, something important. And he ended up fucking around and missed his flight. So they chartered him a private jet, and then when he landed, they had a fucking Bentley waiting for him.
That's dope. Back to your story, though.
Because they were like, we fucked up your old training camp, so here's
that's
a
big
Bentley.
money.
Back to your story, though. He's doing shit for that. Keep
going. I know Out of Sight through the guy who was managing me that I said fired me. That I fired, excuse me. I met him. I known the guy was managing me in college in New York. So the first year I was in New York, I went to Institute Audio Research. The second year I went to LIU, Long Island University in Brooklyn. So that's where I met this guy. It's funny, his roommate sold weed. So I would always be banging on the door. Again, the weed. And we always go back to the weed.
That's Kool-Aid over there.
Right. So I'm in the dorm and I'm like, I'm banging on his door and I'm like, Watt's home? Because he'd be like, he didn't sell weed or anything like that, or he didn't even smoke weed, so he used to get pissed. Imagine having your roommate sell weed and you don't even do any of that shit. You're in there trying to study and shit.
People
motherfucker banging on the door every 5 minutes.
You're trying to do algebra.
Right. I'm banging on the door. And
You're
I'm
not
like,
even home, but people are still banging on the door, and you gotta like figure
that's
out
what
how
happens.
to talk to
He's
them.
just sitting at home reading Paul's letter to the Corinthians like Jesus intended.
Watching his fucking weed licks. So he's like, and he answers the door and he's like, what? Like, cause he's by this time he's got an attitude every time the door. I'm like, Watt's here, man. Like, he's like, nah, he ain't here. And then he goes, hey, don't you be. So my homeboy Life, he's an artist, and I used to run with him in college. And he's like, don't you run with them Life and them dudes? And they're rappers. I wasn't really rapping at the time. I was secretly writing rhymes, but I wouldn't have said I was a rapper because these dudes rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, I run with them. What's up? He like, you rap? And I don't know what made me say yes, but I said yes. And I literally to the time, I'm like, I don't know why I said yes.
Best decision of your life, right?
Yeah, crazy, right? So I go, yeah. And he goes, man, I got the recording shit in my dorm if you ever want to come by. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, word. He's like, how about on Wednesday? And I'm like, okay.
And you're sitting there watching your body, like you're outside of your body.
Body.
You're trying to take the words and put them back in your mouth.
Right,
like, why did I
do? What did I do?
You're already panicking like you're actually going to record in the next 10 minutes.
Panic attack.
Now I want to see this dude every day because if I don't go, so I was like, fuck, I gotta go.
It's one of those Zoom shots from that movie Limitless. Like, his brain's just like, fuck.
My whole world just shrunk. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck. So mind you, thank God I've been secretly writing a few raps. So I got.
Did you come in there with big dick energy though?
No, I was very. I had recorded before that on a 4-track recorder on tape. In Finneytown, Alonzo, my boy Alonzo, who I was just in Vegas with not too long ago, and I told him that, like, yo, you're the first person I ever recorded with. But we were just playing around then, you know what I'm saying? So now I got to go in there and act like I do this for real. Like, so I do it, and I guess it came out good because he's like, yo, this is dope, like, whoop-de-whoop. So 7 years later, I fall out of contact with this guy, like, life happens, you know what I'm saying? I'm back here, MySpace is jumping, so, like, we find each other on MySpace, you know what I mean? So then Facebook opens up, and everybody switched from MySpace to Facebook, so it carried over to there. So what happened is at the time is...
It was like 2007, 2008 when that happened?
This is 2006 maybe.
Okay.
So he gets a hold of me or whatever, and then I kind of really started my local shit at that point, you know what I mean? And he calls me one day, and he's like... Or he hit me up on Facebook. He's like, yeah, we got a deal. And I'm thinking, who the fuck is we? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't give me any context. And it's Out of Sight. And I didn't know who Out of Sight was. And I thought it was a band because I'm like, Out of Sight? Like, is that one person or a group? Like,
is that Creed? Is that the new Creed?
Yeah. Right, so I'm like, what is this? Or whatever. Then it's funny. So my local career kind of takes off and we start shooting all these videos and stuff. I meet Mac Miller and all this crap. We'll get to that
Hell
stuff. Yeah, Mac was my boy.
Wow.
So they're watching my videos while they're touring the world from the Tonight's Tonight record.
Yeah.
I don't know they watching me. So he gets booked in Cincinnati. Out of Sight does. So the dude hits me, I'll say his name. Dre hits me up and he's like, oh, we gonna be in Cincinnati. I ain't seen him for 7 years. You know what I'm saying?
Is it Dre that you're talking about?
Nah, not Dre.
I was about to say.
Nah,
Dre.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll say his name. And he says
He's around Cincinnati all the time.
Yeah, the doctor. Nah, not that.
He wrote me a prescription for some sick beats.
Not that Dre. But nah. So they're like,
man, I'm so stupid.
God damn it.
I'm so stupid.
It was a great moment.
Take a lap.
They were booked at Mint. It's not even there no more, but it was down on the square.
Yeah.
And they're like, come down. So I go down there or whatever. And they were on a radio kind of tour, a Kiss tour. And he was like, I later found this out. Dre's like, yeah, so we up at the radio and all the places they were going to in the city, they kept asking, like, yo, you know the Santino dude? Everybody knew me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like in the club scene down at town at the time. Mm-hmm. So, of course, everybody knew me. I was going to every club, it got to a point where the club promoters would be like, if you come down here, we'll give you free bottles. Like, because I'd bring 40 people with me, you know what I'm saying?
So they're giving you bottle service for bringing people in there.
Dude, he's doing karaoke nights everywhere.
Hold on, let's slow the story down real quick. What were these crazy fucking parties like? Could you talk about that for just a second?
The first time I ever realized something was changing was night before Thanksgiving, which we call rookie night because that's when all the people who don't party come out.
Right.
So it was a Club Lunar downtown, and I knew the owner or whatever, and he had gave me this card. Like, it's like you don't have to wait in line type of card. Like, but I never had to use it because I'd always never had to wait in line. So night before Thanksgiving, it's packed. The line's wrapped around the corner. So I'm walking up to the club like, I ain't waiting in this fucking line. I don't got to. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I got people. I'm running into people from Finneytown in the line. Yeah. I'm like, man, nah, you come on.
That rules.
Wherever
you remember
we
your
rock,
people?
Nah, we
dude.
Finneytown. Wherever we, like, that's why he called me. I'm there. Like, it's nothing to talk about.
You remember your people. That's awesome,
again,
dude.
He got booked just because me and him were talking about some shit on fucking Facebook Messenger the other day. Football, like, hey, DJ Reader's fucking dope, right? And he's like, fuck yeah, blah, blah. And then as soon as, like I said, Glenn popped out.
That's when you hit me. I thought it was about football.
No, I was like, hold on, wait, let me,
Real quick, I thought last episode with Will Webb was dope, and it was fucking Will Webb rules, but this is dope.
Shout out Will Webb.
Yeah.
Now, so, wait, what story was I?
He said to say hi to you, by the way.
Yeah, I know Will.
You were pulling your friends from Finneytown.
Oh, yeah, out the line. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm pulling them out the line, and I get up to the door, and the doorman, I don't know this doorman. He's like new or some shit, and he's like, he looks at me, he goes, we're at capacity. We're only letting one in, one out. And I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I'm like going in, I'm about to go into my spiel. Like, and this other doorman turns around, and he goes, oh, no, you got to let him in. Like, mind you, these people have been waiting in line for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's like, well, who you with? All of them. It's 30 of us. Everybody, like.
Someone's on the phone with a fire marshal, like, hey, look. I know we fucked up, but
we gotta let him in. We have to let him in.
We need a pass.
It was one of them situations, but on my inside, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, on the outside, I gotta play it cool. Like, yeah, this is supposed to be happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they let us in, and the line goes crazy. What the fuck? Like, we've been in here for an hour. And as I'm walking in, I hear one of the doormen go, we had to let him in. He's a recording artist. I said, yeah, I'm a recording artist.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, my boy to this day goes, he met me down there that night. He goes, bro, I swear a nigga was toweling you off with a towel. That never fucking happened. He's like, if somebody was dabbing your sweat off that night, I swear, nah, it didn't happen like that.
But towel guy, someone feeding you water.
Yeah, all that shit, grapes in the club, nah. I was like, yo, something's happening here. Like, you know what I mean?
Someone got on the phone. There was 2 Norwegian lesbians came in. They were pouring champagne, feeding me grapes, singing to me. It was weird.
Yeah, that's how I knew some things were changing here. So, like, I kind of developed this reputation for partying here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One of my albums is called Sorry for Partying because of that. Because we just out here wrecking shit at one point. You know what I'm saying? Club to club.
I'm sorry I interrupted the flow of the rest
good.
of your story for the party thing, but keep going. What happens after you start getting this? Like, these parties are happening, all this crazy shit's happening before you keep going with the story.
The other step on where I knew things were changing is where the bimbos start giving you attention. You know what I'm saying? And I only say bimbos for lack of a better phrase.
Because they want you to get you...
Because whores sounds mean.
That and here... Hey, I'm a changed man.
You forget, we're friends on Facebook.
Right.
I know the people that was reaching out. I know the people that was reaching out. I saw the comments. I saw it.
Yeah, so, you know, it would be like all these... we called them Jersey chasers then because back then, it wasn't the rappers here, so... They chased the Bengals and the Reds players, you know what I'm saying?
They were trying to get pregnant by a ball player.
Right, and I know a few that it happened to, actually.
I know one of them for sure.
Oh, do you? Yeah. I pulled the mic
That's
out.
our bad equipment.
Nah,
I'm sorry for
it
our
happens.
shitty equipment.
We do what we got to do here. So, this one chick in particular was messing with Aroldis Chapman at the time. And she started giving me attention. I'm like, what you trying to talk to me for? Like, I'm not a rich ball player. And she's like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, yo, I got her. Because if you know what I mean.
And then she got arrested for stealing from Macy's downtown.
But look, now she gave me sympathy ass because she didn't want to feel like the Jersey chaser because I called her out on it. She's like, no, I would mess with you. I'm like, I ain't rich though. Like, this is way before I was like where I'm at now.
That's who I think it was. She also got arrested for shoplifting from Macy's downtown.
No, it wasn't. I don't even know who that was, but it wasn't her.
She got Aiken?
Nah. But she, you know, I just tell the caliber and women that was kind of going after me started changing. Like, these bitches didn't look in my direction last year. Now they act like they know me and shit. But, you know, I credit a lot of that to Mac Miller because knowing him kind of put you in this other realm.
How does that happen? Can you talk about that?
Well, I was working with this promotion company here at the time that was booking a lot of artists, like up-and-coming artists. So they, like, booked Wiz Khalifa. I remember the first time I seen a Wiz Khalifa flyer pop up, I'm like, who the fuck is Wiz Khalifa? Like, because I never heard of him. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say that shit now.
Right.
I know a lot of the dudes he's training with right now.
I love Wiz. I was just with Wiz.
I keep someone on his mixtapes in high school.
I was with Wiz this summer. His lighting man, who was Max
Cushion
Lighting
Orange
Man.
Juice is
That's
still
what I
to
came up
this
on.
day one of the best mixtapes.
But also, that motherfucker's yoked.
Yo,
now.
he's yoked now.
I know some
for
of the dudes
sure.
he trains with, and he will kick your head off of
Yeah,
your fucking body.
He knows what he's doing for sure.
There's videos of him training with like Ernesto Hoost and shit where I'm like,
yeah, he trains with the big dogs for sure. So the promotion company booked Mac on his first tour. Mac was 18 years old. Ironically, 2 weeks before that, my homegirl Leah hits me up and she sends me a video. And she's like, check this kid out. It's Mac. It's Nikes on my feet. And I'm like, oh, cool, like, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little older, so I ain't really, like, at the time I was probably pushing 30. I'm 41 now, so I was probably around 28.
The kids era.
Yeah, the
shit like that.
That's when I met him. So when they put up on his first tour, the first tour was Kentucky, Covington.
I remember when he was partying around that
Dayton, Lexington, and it was one more, Columbus.
Yeah.
So, the dude, my boy, like, yo, ask the dude who kind of ran the promotion company. He's like, ask him if we could roll on that tour. I only knew who Mac was because 2 weeks later, this girl showed me this video. So honestly, in the beginning, I didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, whatever, we'll go. So we went. And
so it wasn't your best day ever?
It was my best day ever. It was my best day. That song makes me cry because I got so many like personal memories with him. And that was a time where we really got cool. Yeah. So he's 18. The first show's in Columbus. All the dudes that I'm around knew who he is. So they kind of on his dick for real. And I'm just like, give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, y'all need, they see me smoking weed. So then the boys are like, yo, can you get us weed? Like, yeah, I can get you weed.
Did you get the impression that he was on the, like, young come up shit where he was
I had no idea.
Okay.
I had no idea. I didn't really care, honestly.
No, he's got standing back like, y'all know he's white, right? No, like, nah, he just light-skinned.
That's honestly, that's one reason I didn't care. Because I'm like, this is a white dude trying to do rap. Like, I'm not going to jump on his dick for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. Like, so we get cool because he's like, yo, can you give me weed? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm in Columbus, so I call my Columbus people up. And they come through, and I'm like, I call a couple girls I know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come through, fuck this dude, whatever. The first show we ever did with him, it was 60 kids there. Like 60. You know what I'm saying? The next show was in, oh, this is a crazy story. So the next show was here, but it was in Covington. Yeah. So they got a hotel in I don't know what it is. It's probably a Holiday Inn. It's behind the White Castle in Covington. The night before.
It's got bed bugs. I know that for
sure. The night before we were in Mount Adams partying. Bottle service, crazy night. I get drunk as fuck. I wind up passing out at their hotel. I wake back up the next day and I'm like, fuck, how the fuck I'm with y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they like, yeah, bro. Like, I could tell, like, when we must have a bonding night because they fucked with me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm
Wake
like,
up next to the daughter of the mayor. Like,
like how'd I get here? So I call my boy.
Daughter.
I call my boy and I'm like, yo, I need some weed. He comes meets me down there, right? So I go into I'm like fucking hungover, so I go to the White Castle and I'm like trying to buy a drink, and then they were like, "Fuck it, I'll tell a real story." So I had these counterfeit $100 bills back in the day.
Yeah, you did.
That's how I was buying bottles in the club the night before.
That's how you're buying bottles. I love this dude. I love this.
Amazing. But I did it for Mac. I was almost trying to like make sure he had a good time. So I was like, yo, I'm just keep buying bottles, whatever. It's like, that's how I really got cool with them. Shout out to Counterfeit Hundreds. So
I from Finneytown made those for you.
Nah, that was my New York. That was a New York.
Shout out Counterfeit.
I love that he was setting up White Castles where you know they're not checking them.
Yeah, statute of limitations. No, but here's the crazy thing. I go to the White Castle because I'm like, fuck, I need a drink. Like, because I'm hungover and I'm about to break one of these hundreds. But you would think White Castle wouldn't be on it. They were the first people to have the infrared like thing machines. So they take it in the back. So I'm like, oh, but we used to have this spiel like, oh.
So you're over there, Terminator. You're over there, Terminator 2 running.
Nah, not even because bro, we had a whole system, so I would just play dumb, like, you know what I mean. But mind you, I would only play dumb because I would have one on me. But this time I had an envelope full of them in my pocket.
When I would have turned it. That's when I would have went full Robert Patrick out the door.
Nah, not even. So I'm like, yo, I'm an artist. We just did a show last night, and the promoter must have paid us in his fake money. Like,
let
me go. The whole story ready?
Let me go. Of course. Let me go to the hotel and get my manager, and we'll straighten this out.
Yeah. He's like, then 4 fat 47-year-old women who worked at the White Castle sucked my dick in the parking lot.
I love the idea that he's making it. Like, let me make a phone call. He starts talking to him, and the phone starts ringing in the middle.
Hold on.
Let me call my manager.
Right.
His name is
must be defective.
So I call my manager. His name is Lipschitz Banquet.
So I never planned on going back into the White Castle, right? Fuck that. Like, so my boy comes with weed. We're walking out. He don't know what's going on. I'm not going to tell him, like, yo, I just fucking left that White Castle. So we're leaving. And
because you're about to pay your weed dude and fake
Nah, not him. But, so we walking out of the fucking shit now. Like, Mac and them are leaving because they got to go to the next city. It's Dayton. Yeah. So we're walking out, and I see a cop car in the White Castle parking lot now. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm like, let me get straight to the car, and we'll just leave. In my mind, this was what I'm trying to do. Get to the car, get in the car, leave, and they don't never see me again. You know what I'm saying? But as I'm walking in the car, I looked at the White Castle, and I could see him look and point like, there he is type shit. Like, oh, fuck, here we go. So I go in there.
What a bunch of snitch-ass minimum wage employees.
Right.
What the
bastard.
fuck?
So
it's fucking White Castles. Move on.
There he goes.
Lie.
I tried to buy a soda.
Fucking pieces of shit.
So the cop comes out or whatever, and I open, mind you, I got a fucking envelope full of these things. Yeah. So I open the door and I kind of like flick them in the door. God, whatever, placed them in between the seat and the console because they searched the car. They wound up searching the car because my boys got weed on them. and then he doesn't know what's going on at all. So he's like, "What the fuck?" Like, so he's pissed at me. We're in handcuffs.
You had your boy hemmed up over some counterfeit money charge.
Like, and I ain't even tell him. So like, we in handcuffs, and they trying to figure out what's going on. And my dude looking over me like, we fighting when we get to the station. I'm like,
he's like, be prepared to pay. Be prepared to pay a dentist $100 bills.
You're hungover. Like, can I buy a fucking Gatorade from the commissary?
We're fighting when we get to the station. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I get it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be friends afterward anyway. But so by the grace of God, we catch these older cops. And they like talking to each other, but they talking to each other so we could hear them. I'm like, here comes the bullshit. Like, they like, man, that's a lot of weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got it in a jar and he's got them grammed out. So we're in Kentucky. We're cooked. So he's like,
it's intent.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, let me ask you something. And the dude's like, how much you sell these bags for? And my dude's like looking at him like, I ain't about to tell you that. Like, he's like, no, like for real, we were wondering for a reason. Like, and this has got nothing to do with this. And he's like, I'm like $20 a bag. Like, he's like, dude opened the jar and he's like, God damn. And he's like, this shit's stronger from when we used to smoke it. And I'm like, what they trying to do? Like, are they about to struck? Because, you know, like,
someone about to go home with a jar full of weed.
Not even that. Like, I think they just toying with our minds, psychological shit, and they're going to arrest us. Like, dude's like, man, I'm gonna just give y'all a ticket and get out of here. But so with the $100 thing, I told him I'm a rapper, and I'm like, look me up on the internet. They searched the car, but it fell in between the thing. They never found that. But he had enough. He had more weed in the glove compartment, so they tried to put that weed on me because they thought I went into the glove compartment as they were coming out of the thing, but I was really flicking the envelope in there. So my dude's like, man, that ain't his weed. Like, I ain't even about to let you take that charge. Like, so dude's like, man, listen, I'm gonna just write you a weed ticket and get you out of here. He's like, So during all this, I'm in handcuffs on the ground. Like, Mac and his boys are walking out the hotel. They fucking see us like, oh shit, like they get in the car and leave. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So anyways, the dude let us leave. My boy just got a ticket. I ain't get shit for real, like, but I help him pay the ticket. Sure. Yeah. So I did.
You got them all hemmed up on a weed ticket.
With a fake $100 bill.
That's good. Down the station, just throwing them in there like, nah, bro, look, we want to be good civil servants, man. We understand.
That's how he paid the weed ticket. That's how he paid the weed.
So later that night,
he's tipping the fucking.
The show is in Dayton, so I get to Dayton, and I get there kind of like a little later. Mac's performing, but I'm on the side of the stage like with everybody else, and he looks over and he goes, oh shit, my boy, because I'm in the middle of his set, because the last time he seen me, I'm in cuffs on the ground. He ain't know what was going on. He actually told the promoter.
But he knows you're the truth because of that, right?
Wait, because I'm there now, you mean? Yeah. So like we kind of bonded off of that. And then, so his DJ was DJ Clockwork, who's from Cincinnati, and that was my boy. And Clockwork calls me one time, and he's like touring with them, but they're out west now, like. This is like in between this 1 year. And in this 1 year, like he kind of like blew the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So he's like,
it was probably like right after watching movies.
No, it was before watching movies.
Macadelic?
Before that. I'll tell you stories about before that. I'll tell you, I was around for Blue Slide. I was on all those tours. So he this is how it started. This is how it started.
Can you do 9 hours today?
Yeah, come on, whatever.
Let's go.
So he goes,
subscribe to the page.
Clock's like, yo, Mac loves you, man. Like, cause we bonded a few times. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Cause I'm watching this kid blow up, and I'm thinking, he don't give a fuck. He right, don't even remember me. You know what I'm saying? And Clock's like, nah, dude, he loves you. He stays talking about you. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what do you want me to do about that? Yeah. He's like, just come out here and meet us on tour. And I'm like, I'm on fucking
hug him.
I'm on fucking probation at the time. I ain't supposed to lead a city, so I'm like. This is opportunity calling, you know what I'm saying? So I lead a city, like
and I filmed it.
Risk it for the
as biscuit. You should.
Nah, risk it for my career. So what happened was I used to be on the drug testing where you had to call every day, color number shit. Yep. So I'm like, yo, God forbid my number pop up or my color pop up while I'm out on this tour, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I get a phone call and show up down there like, my name is Santino.
Right. You don't look 5'6" and black.
Like, no, I took vitamins.
Right. And I got a tan.
I've been drinking a lot of milk lately, man.
So during that time period, this is like a year time period, and this is when he drops Donald Trump.
Okay.
And that shit blows the fuck up. So the first time we seen him, remember, he was in a 4-door Volvo. A year later, he comes back, he's got a fucking tour bus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then they threw him a birthday party here. I think it was his 19th birthday. And it was in a club downtown, and that was a crazy night. Like, and a lot of people just seeing me with him.
Did he take care of his people?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have never known he was famous unless you knew he was famous. Yeah, he didn't have to fuck with me. From Clock saying, yo, Mac, love you, come out on tour. So Blue Slide Park Tour, I go meet them in Chicago. And it was
incredible tape.
It was the first time he performed on MTV Live. Like, you can look that shit up on YouTube. I was sitting in the tour bus the whole time. Matter of fact, what he's wearing, I helped him pick it out that night because I'm on a tour bus while he's getting dressed. Like,
that's,
you know what I'm saying?
Dude.
So he's like, he kept fucking with us. Like, he didn't have to, bro. Like, he was super famous by then. Like, you know what I'm saying? But every time, like, yo, come on out. Like, so I would ride on the tour buses, not insured. So, like, if you know anything about me, you got to be insured on these tour buses. So he'd be like, you ain't really supposed to be riding, but we don't give a fuck. So, like, one time, he was like, what the fuck happened? We were in Indianapolis, and I asked him casually, like, yo, you should let me open up for you when we get to Cincy. Because we were at Bogart's in Cincy. And he was like,
I was there.
He was like, let me see what I can do. And I was like, at the time, I don't really know the business like that. I'm like, what? It's your tour. Like,
you know what I mean? There was 40 dudes.
Nah, it's a whole company behind it, you know?
Exactly.
So in Indianapolis, he calls me on, Elise was a production manager, and she was like, Max wants to see you in the back of the bus. And I'm like, what the fuck I do? Like, I thought I did something. Like, you know what I mean?
Principal's office.
Oh, no.
Mac wants you in his office.
You got to go talk to Modio.
That's how it felt. Like, oh, what the fuck? Because I'm there by the grace of God. Like, and I'm just happy to be there because I'm not really supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you kind of gotta walk on eggshells. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta make yourself small. You can't be. I'm not the dude. Like, yo, let me rap. Oh, look, I don't even tell these niggas I rap. Like, I'm just happy to be in this situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta be happy to be in the room. Like, you know what I mean? So
that's how I feel right now talking to you.
thank you, brother. So he's like,
so then I went on a rant about the Jews.
Because I've had enough.
I do not like Hitler. At all.
Thank God.
Full disclaimer.
Yeah, I don't need to be the new Alex
He does,
Jones. No.
So look, he's like,
all right, he had some pretty cool ideas.
Oh, stop.
I do not subscribe to that type. So no, he's like, this is like Blue Side Park era, Macadelic. I was on those tours. I kind of seen the beginning of the downfall. I remember,
With the substance abuse, you mean?
I mean, I've done substances with him.
Well, you could really see,
right?
You could really see the change in his music in that
Macadelic was the change. So kids, I didn't identify with any of that because I'm 30 years old. Kids didn't make sense to me. When he started rapping about drugs, that made sense to me because I was doing drugs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's when I really got into his music.
That's how Finny
Kids was like his neighborhood stuff, and then Blue Slide was like, I'm flexing now.
It's my album.
Yeah.
Well, Macadelic was before Blue Slide.
I thought it was after.
So. I mean, you might be right. I think you
look
are
at how
right.
white he is. Of course, he knows Mac Miller better than you.
No, he's gonna be right.
I fell off for a second. I came back to during watch movies.
You look like the reincarnation of Mac Miller right now.
You could play B Mac. No,
he looks like Mac. We Are the Millers.
What I learned, We Are the Millers.
Why do you
that was a good one. That was a fucking good one.
Lloyd's the comedy MVP of this episode.
That was a good one, man.
Dude, he's been crushing all night.
So
keep going.
So this is where we at, Macadelic now. He started drinking lean. You know what I'm saying? I can remember sitting up in
what type of shit were you into when he was into lean? Like, were you in the same shit? Like,
I never really sipped lean. That shit puts me to sleep, and I didn't want to be the dude. They got me a few times smoking weed. Like, we used to put each other on video. Tree J's hot, something we used to call it. It's on YouTube. I'm not in those, but we used to like put up everybody on, fall asleep on the bus smoking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I never really got into that shit. We were all doing Molly back then, like heavy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I love Molly.
So,
Molly's the best.
Yeah,
like you should.
Yeah,
Molly's the best.
I can't remember. Just kind of, I told him one time, like, man, you better slow down on that lean because he was like. He poured up an 8 in a whole 2-liter. Like,
real quick, just to make a stop on that point, people don't understand that lean. It's
liquid heroin.
It's liquid heroin.
Yeah.
People don't understand that codeine is like the weakest version of an opioid. Codeine is like underneath Percocet and hydrocodone. But codeine, promethazine, I mean, the promethazine fucks you up a little bit, but the codeine is just an opioid. Right. You're getting addicted to opioids when you take lean. That's heroin. What makes you lean. When they talk about lean, that's you nodding out.
Yep.
For anybody that's not educated about it, like, don't think that shit's cool. Fuck doing that.
Nah,
unless you're
cool
unless you're cool about doing heroin, which most people aren't. Don't fuck with lean.
I had promethazine for a fucking long-ass time. Cause, you remember when me and David McGee got in a fight with them boys in front of James Giselle's house and I got my fucking ribs broken with the golf club?
Yeah. Damn, you brought back some memories. I mean,
Dude,
not good ones for you, I know.
That fucking Glencoe kid fucked me up with a golf club. Broke like 3 of my ribs.
I remember
I'm sorry, and I interrupted with my Ronald Reagan fucking, my Nancy Reagan fucking.
Just say no.
Yeah, no. Do whatever drugs you want. I don't care if you do heroin.
Which was a joke, by the way, that whole program.
I just feel like a lot of people don't know what lean is.
Yeah, that was a good context. But so I just seen that type of stuff, and then what I learned from knowing Mac is he was famous. You know what I'm saying? At one point I was with him, he was at the top of the mountain. So everything that I've strived to get to, I get to see in 4K. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you could tell, like, there was something going, depression or something, like, because he's always happy. Everybody ain't always happy. Especially when you listen to the music and you're like,
don't sound happy.
You don't sound happy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That was the huge switch.
Yeah.
Like the huge change.
Faces is really what did it.
It became like a somber.
So he got really heavy into drugs and shit.
Best day ever to self-care.
Yeah. Best.
Pretty much. Different step.
2 opposite ends of the spectrum, but that's the beginning of fame and that's the end of fame.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I learned about fame. And one particular story in particular, we were in Indianapolis, we're on a bus, and like, this tour bus stays in the parking lot after the show until we leave. So a bus calls 6 a.m. We'll sit in the fucking parking lot all night and just party on the bus. Or you can get the fuck out of there and go do whatever. Your ass just better be back by bus call or they get left. Yeah. So we're partying. It's like 3 in the morning at this point. So I come off one bus. This is the time where he's got 2 tour buses now and a studio in one of them. So he starts four-door Volkswagen Volvo, a tour bus a year later. Another year later, 2 tour buses, one with a studio. He's in there with Germ. I used to sit in the
Travis Besser was driving.
Nah, Besser wasn't driving. Shout out Besser. So now he's got 2 tour buses. This is a Macadelic tour. Okay, and I was just sitting there and watching him. And so this is an interesting fact. Macadelic tour, we used to sit on the bus after the show, and he's a workaholic, bro. Like motherfuckers like, oh, we going to the club. He's like, nah, I'm chilling. I'm on the bus recording all night. Like, I used to think like, if that's me, I'm going to the club. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm not Mac Miller, because my dumb ass would have been going to the club and not working on my music.
He's like, nah, I'm boofing Adderall and writing.
Yeah. So he would sit on some nights I would just say too, because I'm like, I'm gonna sit on the bus with him and German, just watch him create. Like, so what we would do is every night we would pick a movie to watch on the tour, because you got this tour bus has a TV on it, and in the back is like a studio. It's just a compressed studio because they're on a bus.
And it was always pick
a random movie to watch on mute while he records. Watching movies with the sound.
What movies would you go
to?
Wow.
The Notebook. It was all The Notebook every time.
Hey, wait, hold on. He just dropped some
That's
knowledge.
where the name from that album comes?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Before every session, we just pick a stack of DVDs. Like, what should we watch tonight? One, I can't remember. What's the chick that became a transgender man and she was in a movie back?
Elliot Page.
Yeah, what was the
Ellen
movie?
Page. Juno.
Juno. That was what I remember in particular. We watched Juno one night. Well, it was just on, but we were recording. You know what I'm saying? Then he even had me go in there and like do some background
Diablo
logos.
Cody's fucking brain fart.
Like, I don't even know if that music ever came out, but I was in there in them sessions. You know what I'm saying? So I used to watch him work and shit like that. And then just the fact that he didn't have to like fuck with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was this kid from Cincinnati. He didn't even have to fuck with Clock. What happened was he didn't have a DJ that first tour. So the production company from here has their own DJ. So they were like, well, will you DJ the set? He had just come off a 50 city tour with Talib and DJ Hot Tech.
Talib Kweli?
Yeah, that's my homie too.
Really?
I tour with him too.
Oh my god! Do you know fucking from the Coop? The what's the dude's name from the Coop?
From the Coup?
The Coop.
You're saying the Coop?
I keep saying the Coop. Sorry, the dude that did shit with Stizza that I was talking about forever ago. Fucking what's his name?
Stizza?
Boots Riley. Do you know Boots Riley?
That sounds familiar. I'd have to see him though.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt.
He was
keep going.
He did. He was in the Coup back in the 80s, early 90s.
Oh,
and
Street
Sweeper.
2000s.
And he did the Street Sweeper Social Club
Fat
with Tom
Cat.
Morello.
That's what I know.
Fat Cats and Bigger Fish.
Fat Cats and all that.
Yeah, the one Atmosphere
the
was
Guillotine.
fucking,
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere put that shit out everywhere.
So he was touring with them at first. This was before I actually knew Talib, and so Mac's like, yeah, I need a DJ for these 4 shows. So Clock DJ'd the 4 shows, and at the end of the 4 shows, Mac's like, you want to be my DJ? Just like that, and then Clock travels the fucking world with this kid for years to come till he passed. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's just crazy. So I was around in these moments where it's like, if I wasn't there, I don't know where I'm at. Right. And if I wasn't there, I don't know where I would be, because what happens is all the Cincinnati fans start realizing, oh, because they used to think I was from Pittsburgh, just hanging out with them. Like, nah, so when they do Bogarts and shit, like, we be out, you know what I mean? Saying, like, oh, well, I'm from here. And then all the kids will be like, what? Like, so, like, all these kids just really started, like, latching on to me from that. And I always told Mac, like, yo, you fucking changed my life. Like, because if that don't happen, I don't know if these kids latch on to me. You know what I'm saying?
What a beautiful story. Now, we're coming up on an hour. We got to do our reads.
Already?
We're going to do another hour on Patreon. Thank you so much, Santino, Corleon. Everybody
For
go
real,
and check out his
this
music.
has been an amazing episode.
Thank you,
man, really.
All right, let me do something weird. Do you remember the first time we interacted?
No.
We almost got into a fucking fist fight because I hit your brother.
Can
too
we
hard in
talk
football.
about that story?
You remember that now?
No, I don't. But
Can we open
it
the-
sounds right.
I went around fucking.
Wait. Don't tell the story. Can we tell it on Patreon?
Yeah,
Can we
that's
start the
cool.
Patreon. Let's open up with early shit, and then let's go back to all this music
that's
shit.
Yeah.
And not just people that you know. I mean, it's fascinating the people that you know, but I was already interested in you before you started like dropping names, and I don't feel like you're dropping names. Like,
Yeah, I don't particularly do it. Like, I can tell you stories. Like, people are like, why don't you talk about what things you've done more? Like, because it comes across as bragging to some people.
I feel like I'm kissing ass right now, but I'm
Nah,
not.
you ain't
Well, no,
kissing
but,
that.
I mean,
These
in the
stories
same
are
way,
fantastic.
I would tell you, bro. Trust
in the
me,
same way,
don't.
I was hesitant to even ask him. I'm like, I don't want to be like, oh, hey, I
bro.
know this guy from
I always rock
way
with
back
people.
when. Be on my podcast. Like,
Nah, I got
Just
you, bro.
fucking around, but I was like, it's almost disrespectful that Lloyd didn't have him on sooner. Like,
Nah,
what the fuck, Lloyd? We could have had
I'm
him
a hard
on.
guy to get a hold of, so y'all caught me at the perfect time. Like,
Thank
really
you
did.
so much for doing this podcast. I
nothing.
appreciate the fuck out of you. Can you give everybody all the details of where they can buy merch, where they can follow your music, all that shit, please?
Bandcamp. Yeah, I'm on Bandcamp. Santino Corleon. I'm on every platform. Santino Corleon. A lot of my placement music is under just Santino though, because I dropped the Corleon for commercial reasons. But I still drop music under the Santino Corleon moniker. But I own all that stuff. The other stuff I own a portion of it because I went in with the label. You know what I mean? But I'm on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Twitter.
let's say someone
And
wanted to get
he's
a hold
a-
of you to book something. Where do they get?
Just hit me up on Instagram at Santino Corleon.
And you've got amazing music videos. And, like, I know that a lot of people are like, fuck the music video, the music's where it's at. And you're right, yeah, appreciate the music first. But, I mean, as a cinephile, as a person that appreciates this shit, and fellow cinephile, I fucking
But now
love
you
movies.
need visuals. This is the era you need visuals.
I
Yeah.
love the visuals in your shit. I don't feel like you're getting enough love on YouTube, and you have a fucking giant smorgasbord to choose from of not only quality music that you guys could be listening to, but fucking great music videos that could entertain people that you could be pulling up. Pull them up, play them at your parties for your friends. This is some fucking hype music.
Yes.
This is some shit that people could be playing at their
Party
house.
music, high music.
Play
I
this
got
shit,
thoughtful shit.
Play the
all
video. It looks good. It looks so
Drug-induced
well
music.
produced.
Here, you'll dig this one. I walked up on Reggie Leary's car one day, and he was bumping some of your music. And
Get the fuck out of here, Reggie Leary, Blizz's older brother.
His little brother.
Nah, that's Reggie is Blizz's older
Reggie's
brother.
my grade.
Oh, I know you talking
We don't
about.
know what
yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
We
I
mixed
just
up
thought
the
he
people.
would enjoy it. Like,
That's
I
great.
walked up on his car and he was bumping one of your songs, and I was like,
I hear a lot of people be bumping. Finneytown people bump my shit.
I'm about to start fucking with your music like heavy, dude.
Yeah.
I got an
Your
album
shit-
coming out. I should have said that. 12:30.
I got the impression within
What's the
two
name of the album?
songs.
The show.
We'll be
Everybody
sure
go-
to plug it when it comes out.
Yeah, 12:30.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
I'll make sure to put all this in the YouTube thing. Luke will make sure to put all this like information in there. But like, holy shit, dude! Like, I knew that when I listened to two songs, I was like, I'm gonna stop right here because I want to talk to him, and I feel like I'm gonna get so much out of this conversation with him that it's gonna make me fall in love with his music.
Thank
and
you.
honestly, we've got another hour to go.
Yeah, let's go.
I've completely fallen in love with your music, your story, all the shit that you know. Like, this is so much fun. I know everybody listening is having a fucking blast listening to you.
Thank
if
you,
you want the
guys.
other hour, guys, patreon.com/thebastardsermon. It's $5 a month. $5 a month. Go and fucking get all of our bonus content. We've got hundreds of hours of bonus content. And honestly, you can go pay the $5, steal all the shit, put it on YouTube for free. I don't care as long as
Yeah.
other people are listening to our shit. I mean, don't do it, but do it. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
just, and if you listen to this whole hour and you don't think that the $5 is worth the next hour, you're out of your fucking mind. The
Fact.
next hour is going to be fire. This whole hour
I would
was
have paid
insane.
$5 to listen to the last hour.
And if you're a frequent listener, when's the last time I shut up this much just to be able to listen to another man talk?
Dude, he ain't lying.
Man, I appreciate it.
You
man.
have no idea how much he normally interrupts everything that
appreciate
happens.
it.
I am captivated by your story, and I know everybody
We
else
jumped
is.
around a lot, but we're still here.
We'll figure it out. Please come
Yeah.
back if you have the time and if you have the if you want to do it. I don't know you, but I love you, man. I appreciate your story.
Truly.
Everybody go and check out.
You know me now.
Absolutely. Everybody go and check out Bobby Bronson. He's the sponsor of the podcast. He runs the Decorated Body Tattoo Shop out in the historic Pendleton district of OTR.
Oh, nice.
The Decorated Body has a bunch of fantastic artists down there, and Bobby Bronson is at BG Bronson, and the Decorated Body is at the Decorated Body. If you want to book an appointment, you need to get in there now. You need to follow them now because their books are filling up. There's so many quality artists down there. Yeah. They've always got a full book, but they're also always doing raffles that you can fucking get in on. Make sure to follow the Instagram. Make sure to check them out. Luke just got a couple good pieces from them. Bobby will be out. Well, it won't matter by the time this comes out, but Bobby's going to come out on... when you're doing comedy on Thursday and shit like that, he's always supporting shit. He's always going to local
Oh,
businesses.
you're a comedian?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I knew you said your friends did comedy, but okay. Well, I'm sorry.
And he's a funny comedian. He's a very funny comedian.
That's dope.
Everybody check out Luke Young if you get a chance. Fucking unpaid sponsorship. I mean, a little cheddar from this one here.
You owe us $10.
Shameless plug.
The Decorated Body. Everybody check out The Decorated Body. Bobby Bronson, I love you so much. Bobby just had some personal shit happen. Please go and fucking give him your love. Just tell him you love him. Just tell him that you support him. Go and fucking give him his business.
Beautiful little fuzzy bowling ball hug.
I don't know you, but I love you, Bobby.
He's such a sweetheart. He's the truth, and I love you, Bobby.
I need to come get some work done.
Absolutely. Go and check it out at The Decorated Body. And they've got great snacks, which...
Speaking
edibles?
of, we are also they have Andy caps in there to help you, give you like a sugar boost once you're done.
Okay.
I was obsessed.
Because your adrenaline's all fucking...
Yeah, dude, they had the Andy caps hot fries. I was ecstatic.
Make your tongue burn instead of your skin.
Brought me right back to Corleon fucking high school, right at the lunch line, get the Andy caps right before school.
It was taking me down to Don's Corner Store when I still lived on Beach Avenue.
Just fighting Vince Moore and bringing the bottle of hot
Vince
sauce in my
Moore.
fucking pocket.
Vince Moore was
Save
on
it for the Patreon, fellas.
Yeah, okay, I got one for Vince.
We are sponsored by bangandsnacks.net. Bangandsnacks.net has the greatest snacks from around the globe. If you're tired of the snacks that you can find at your local corner store, gas station, or grocery store, the Bang & Snacks is where you need to go. Because they've got a wide variety of snacks from around the world.
What are some of your favorites?
But I'll get to it. You're interrupting the read.
Hold your horses.
They've got crazy snacks from around the world, from like Korea, Belgium, Russia, Japan. They've got it all. Like they've got Milka, Chips Ahoy, cookie chocolate bars. That looks crazy. They're sold in Europe and Germany. They've got like Lay's spicy Sichuan chicken, and they've got Fanta drinks from a wide variety. And in my opinion, I like the Skittles flower flavors that they sell from Japan. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, then you should hit up bangandsnacks.net and use promo code BASTARD or BASTARDS at checkout for 15% off.
And hey, Bangin' Snacks, I think it's time for another box. Just putting that out there.
Yep.
If this episode didn't make you feel like we needed a box, I think Santino Corleon needs a box too.
I do.
You bastard.
Hey, Bangin' Snacks, reach out to Santino Corleon. Get him a box.
Please
Come on. Get him a box of some of these fucking Bangin' Snacks. You know that
I got kids to feed, goddammit.
Please. You want to fucking tell him about it. Come on. You just heard all of his stories. Go ahead, Lloyd.
Let's go.
Also, if you're a fan of football, I do another podcast with our buddy Alex Schubert called Fuck You, We Like The Bengals. We roast whatever team the Bengals is going to be playing.
I need to come on that.
Absolutely.
I got matter of fact,
fucking time.
I'm supposed to be doing a Bengals podcast tonight, but you caught me before he caught me, and he's like, "Yo, can you come on a Wednesday Nighty podcast?" Shout out my boy Zim Houday and Ace Boogie.
Yeah.
They're like, "Can you come on a podcast Thursday?" Today's Thursday, right?
How about this?
Tuesday.
Will you be in town for the Ravens episode, or when the Ravens are the week
I
of the
should
Ravens?
be. I should be.
We'll have you on the fucking Ravens episode.
So like Bengals Twitter, bro, we go ham. We've been arguing with Browns fans all day today.
Their podcast is so much fun. You'll have
it's
a
literally
great
just roast jokes.
Oh,
the whole time.
I got
it's just
you,
making
bro.
fun of everybody.
It's so much material I get from Twitter.
Yeah.
You'll be one of the best guests they ever had.
Thank
dude.
you. Yeah, let's
and
do it.
they've had good guests on there.
Let's do it.
So but we make fun of whatever team the Bengals gonna play, and talk sports, life, comedy, all the shit. even if you're not a big sports fan, you'll probably enjoy the show. It's a lot of fun.
It helped me get into football, like legitimately. On top of the Bengals having a great winning season, me never being into football, having a boy that was into it, and having a boy that had a podcast that was into it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to forward some of the questions he's asked me.
Like football questions?
What's a forward lateral?
Nah, that's just like... It's like watching games with my wife. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Like, so if we win the division, does that mean that we rape Germany? And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that question is.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It might as well have been some of the shit he said to me. But hey, you know what?
I want to get right.
My boys getting into football, and it's been a fun thing. Check out the podcast. It's a fun time. We're having Anthony Tank Mansfield and Billy DeVore on the next episode.
That'll be a killer episode.
Making fun of Deshaun Watson
Yo, what I got? Listen, and crazy Tank, you just said that. My wife just texted me.
And Tank's a Browns fan, so it's gonna be rough for him.
She just texted me a picture of Deshaun Watson, literally just now, and it goes. It's got a little caption on it that says, "I'm coming to Cincinnati. It's not a threat. I'm just legally required to inform you."
Fuck you, Like the Bengals. Patreon. That's a podcast. Santino, Corleon, everybody check it out. Goodbye.
Yeah, so much fun, man.